What is up, guys? Welcome to another video, and today we're back for some Forza. There has not been Forza on my channel in absolutely ages, months. And I thought I might as well go ahead and make this wishlist video. Now, I was originally going to stop this series as, to be honest, it doesn't feel like they listen an awful lot. So it's kind of like I'm speaking to a blank wall. But, you know, maybe, who knows, if I persevere and hopefully try to get my point across, maybe they might listen to some of the suggestions I have about what should be in Forza Horizon 3. Now, obviously, before we get into the video, I would like to note that the gameplay you see in the background is obviously taken today, as you may assume. But my game save got reset, so I've lost everything on Forza Horizon 2, yay! So I might just go back to Forza Horizon 1 when I do this, to be honest. But yeah, that's why you're seeing the starting part of the game and not some of the later parts. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and talk about Horizon 3 and what I'd love to see from the game modes in Horizon. Now, as I go ahead and name all of these modes, I'm going to assume that the ones in Horizon 2 are staying. So, sprint modes, all the cross-country modes, infected, king, etc, etc. I'm assuming those will stay on top of the modes I'm going to suggest to Playground Games, Turn 10, whatever. Now, on top of that, I'm also assuming that they are picking Japan for this. If you didn't already know, in the first video I made, I did predict or hope or just had a wish list that it would be in Japan, because obviously it could open up a lot of doors to customization and whatnot. So I'm assuming that the game would be in Japan, and these modes are kind of suited to the Japanese car culture and lifestyle. So I would like to just kind of put that out there as a bit of a disclaimer before we get into today's video. But anyway, the first mode I would like to see in Horizon 3, and let's just get this straight out there, it's Drift. Horizon and just Forza generally have built their company and their brand off drifters. Drifters is such a huge part of Horizon. You know, you got people like Slaptrain who've literally made a living out of drifting on Forza. So why would you not have a drift mode in Horizon? It doesn't make any sense to me, especially if it was set in Japan. You could have the mountain battles, you could have actual circuits like Formula D-esque circuits. You could really go in, you could have an actual racetrack on Horizon like Tsukuba, or maybe the Suzuki circuit. It depends obviously on what you want to do with that, but there's so many options you can take, and I think having a drift mode could be amazing. Now, the drift mode I would like to see is similar from the one from Underground 2. The closer you get to the wall, the more the multiplier gets, etc, etc. Obviously, the longer you can keep the drift at a certain angle, the more points you're gonna get. If the angle is tighter, if that makes sense. And that's basically what I'd like to see from a drift mode. A simple drift mode would work perfectly. And again, if it was set in Japan, I don't see any reason why there should not be one. Like, I really think it could fit well into the storyline. There could be like a drift king, and then there could be like a sprint king, similar to how Pro Street did it. Very, very simple stuff, and honestly, it could fit in the story very well. I'm assuming you've probably got most of this stuff laid down. Again, I'm not sure about how game development works in terms of its process and its life cycle. I mean, I've watched a few documentaries here and there, but I'm not really fully equipped with the knowledge. So I'm assuming you may or may not have sorted the storyline out yet. But if you haven't, you could easily do that. You could have like 4 kings. You could have like a cross-country king, a drift king, a street king, and then, I don't know, another king. And then maybe you could have like an overall king. Just a suggestion, but a drift mode definitely is a must. Now, the drift mode kind of fits into my next suggestion, which is to bring back street racing. Now, if you don't remember, in Horizon 1, there was street races, and when you went into these street races, you were actually presented with customized cars, like S2Ks, MX-5s, that kind of stuff. Stuff you'd typically see in an American street race, or like car meet, or something like that. And I'd like to see it come back with more emphasis on it. Now, obviously, I play Need for Speed, I'm a big fan of that, I play The Crew, I'm kind of more lenient to having this, and I guess you could say I am going to be a bit biased, naturally, because I do prefer those types of arcade races. But at the same time, I loved Horizon 1, and I loved the street racing aspect of things and how it felt illegal and gritty. Now, I think cops could have a really good place in Horizon. If maybe the cops would only show up during the street races, or maybe if you were in like a festival if you weren't in the festival area, the cops would come after you if you were speeding or something across those lines. That could work really well, and I'd like to see street racing become more of a thing. Now, with the modes for street racing, you know, just keep it like a normal sprint race, like Midnight Club did it, or even a red light race, like Midnight Club did it. So you've got a checkpoint on one side of the map, and you've got a checkpoint on the other side of the map. How you get there is up to you. You pave your own path and decide where and how you get there. That would be a really cool thing for street races, and obviously it would help you learn the map as a player. So I think overall, having a street racing mode is very important, and then obviously including the cops in there could work really well. And having maybe a red light racing mode where again you just go from point A to point B, you choose the route, is a very good thing. You could really mix all of the modes into one street racing kind of section of the game. You could have, you know, a street racing king, and if that was part of the storyline, and I think obviously having that street racing mode would really appeal to a lot of the people who haven't got Forza at the moment, the people who are playing the Crew, the people who are playing Need for Speed. I think it would just kind of tempt them more to come in if there was an actual kind of illegal sense around it, because let's be honest, if there is a car festival, there's no way no one's gonna get arrested in real life. I'm just being serious right now. If there was a car festival in real life, there's going to be a lot of impounds on that weekend. So why not show that in Horizon? You know, I mean, it happens every now and then when you have car meets, and you can see it on YouTube. You know, cops are always going around, you know, checking people's cars and even impounding cars for being too low, for example. Having a cop there and, you know, come up against you and say, I'm going to arrest you because your car's too low. I don't know, I just think that's something that could really fit in Forza. Maybe not that specifically, but definitely the presence of cops could be very important and work very well. So having that street racing mode and the cops and stuff, I think that could be a really cool feature to add, and yeah, that's my second point of this video. Next up is drag racing. This is something that Need for Speed did amazingly back in the day, as well as many other games. Need for Speed wasn't the only one, but having a drag racing mode where you manually shift between gears, and then you obviously have a short shift, a good shift, a perfect shift, or an over rev shift, would be a really cool thing to have in Horizon. Again, Horizon is known for its drag races. There is so many people who, you know, play Horizon for the drag racing. Again, having an airport where you could do this kind of stuff, or even in the Horizon festivals, just having like an actual straight where you can just go ahead and do drag races. Again, something which can be easily implemented into any environment. So drag racing is pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to explain that too much. And finally, and this is kind of more of a multiplayer mode, kind of similar to In Effect, Crown, etc. It's Cops and Robbers. This is a game mode which Need for Speed has done in the past, as well as I think a few other games have done it in the past. I know Burnout has done something very similar, but basically there's two sides. You've got the cops and the robbers. The cops' goal is to arrest all of the robbers, you know, regardless if they're carrying the money or not. That is their job. Their job is to arrest the robbers. But the robbers' job is to get all the money from the cop base and take it back to their base. Now, if there was cops in Horizon 3, it makes sense to have something like this, especially in the multiplayer mode where you get given certain cars and you have to complete those, you know, those desired goals. And it's something unique. It's something which no one has really done in a while, and it's something I think could fit really well in any racing game, let alone Horizon. If the Crew or Need for Speed want to go ahead and do this, they can. But I think a cops and robbers mode would be amazing. I think that prospect of things, especially if there was cops in Japan, imagine doing cops and robbers on a mountain. That shit would be amazing. So those are my suggestions for the racing modes I would like to see in Horizon. I'm going to be pumping out some of these videos over the next coming month as we get close to Horizon 3's launch, but for now, that is all I will leave you with. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. You guys have been awesome. Stay safe and peace.